Great.
Yeah.
So welcome everyone. My name's Dr. Philip Etchcombe, one of the co-founders of Cosmic. I'm here today calling in from BC Children's Hospital. I was fortunate to get a few minutes off from my shift in the emergency to join the meeting. So thank you to Dr. Mignot for giving me permission to do that. We're here gathered today as a collective. We're the Collective Open Source Medical Innovations for COVID-19, or Cosmic. We're all volunteering in our mission to create abundant access to medical equipment in BC and around the world through open source design solutions. And you can learn more and sign up to join us as a volunteer or a donor at www.cosmicmedical.ca. And we are actively recruiting. As you'll find out soon, we've got lots of projects on the go, and we would love your insights and assistance. We're holding these monthly update meetings, kind of with three goals in mind. They're related to community, open sourcing, and planning. And I'll kind of address each in turn. As it relates to community, especially in this time of social distancing, we really want to facilitate building up that interconnectedness of the Cosmic community, of the open source community, and also we want to show that we can create a global community in a time that's been quite divisive. We can show that we can come together globally in an inclusive way to come up with a global solution to this global pandemic. So welcome, and just before we dive into the meeting, I'd like everyone to join me in taking 3 deep breaths, in really trying to be present, leaving those worries and concerns that you have at the virtual door, and for these next 30 minutes, be with us as a cosmic community. All right, so please join me in taking 3 deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. In and out. And just leave those thoughts be present with us, and in and out. Excellent. Okay, now I'm going to encourage everyone to switch their cameras to gallery mode. Turn on your video camera if you can. And we're just going to do our traditional kind of cosmic check-in and wave and smile. So it's great to see people logging on. You know, we've got 2 screens worth, so say hello to each other. And I guess just to kick things off, I'd love to know who is the farthest traveled, assuming Vancouver is our center of gravity. Do we have anyone who's coming from further than BC? I imagine we do. Anyone coming from further afield? I guess Addy, you're coming from a bit.
Yeah, I'm in Seattle area, Redmond actually, so not that far away from Vancouver, BC.
Okay. And Ben?
I'm in New Zealand, so that's pretty far away.
So I think Ben takes the cake. Yeah. Wonderful to have you. So we are pretty global.
Cool.
Okay, so let's take our group picture. So everyone give a wave. I'm going to take 2 screenshots. So smile and wave, and excellent. Okay, and here comes the second one. Smile and wave again. 1, 2, and 3. Awesome. Good work, everyone. Okay, so as we get rolling, please feel free to use the Facebook comments if you're joining on the Facebook live stream, or the Zoom chat to kind of ask questions. We do download the Zoom chat and review the Facebook live comments afterwards, and make sure that the appropriate team leaders get a copy of whatever's being shared, because we are trying to kind of crowdsource feedback and innovation here. And right now, I'd just like to briefly introduce Ben and Addy, who are our special guests and our experts. We've got Addy, who's joining us he's a principal software engineer with Microsoft Corporation since 1998, and technical lead for Project Apollo, which is a project with helpful engineering to implement an inexpensive DIY oxygen concentrator. Addy, if you could just say a quick hello, I'd appreciate that.
Hi guys, I'm glad to be here.
Wonderful. And then separately, we're fortunate to be joined by Ben. He's got a range of professional experience from healthcare project management to software development, a master's of engineering in mechanical engineering from the University of Auckland in New Zealand. He's a self-taught programmer and electrical engineer since a very young age. And he was the founder and technical director for Big Boy Pants Studio, making retro mobile video games, where their debut title, Robot Crush, was featured on Google Play Store. And he's also been highly involved in the open source community. And we'll look forward to hearing from both Ben and Adi, primarily focused on the oxygen concentrator project soon. And I should mention that Ben Coombs is the invention coach of, in particular, the oxygen concentrator project. So we're very fortunate to have them with us today. Next, we're going to turn to Dr. Chris Guan, who's going to give us a cosmic community update.
Thanks, Phil, and hello to everyone. And for those of you who I don't know or don't know me, my name is Chris Klein. I'm a kidney transplant surgeon at Vancouver General Hospital here in Vancouver, and one of the co-founders of Cosmic along with Philip and Alex Waslin. And welcome to everybody today. As you know, this whole initiative started way back in March when we launched, and although time has ticked on and the pandemic has come and we've come to live with it, recruits are still showing up at our door at Cosmic, and I really welcome everybody joining us, the Slack channel, and hopefully we find a place here and we can always use the help. I also welcome our guests, Ben and Mike and Adi, to the discussion today. I'm looking forward to your talks. We have as well an ongoing core members throughout all of our different projects through GVent, CRS, our new oxygen concentrator, snorkel mask, bubble helmet, all are very active still. I'm impressed by everybody's ongoing persistence with regards to that, and ongoing successes as well. Of course, you know of our bubble helmet Health Canada approval for clinical trial that was documented in late July, and which is moving forward. And I'll let the other groups go on about that. But of specific mention is the fact that that Roche award that GVent won a long time ago is finally in the bank. And we're happy to welcome Critical Systems Labs as a partner that is currently engaged with us for ongoing GVent development. And so we hope to wrap that up in a 10-week sprint. And I'm sure that GVent, Patrick, Alex will update us on that aspect, but they are in the Slack channel in GVent. So they are a link partner. So I'm happy to announce that, and hopefully they will come to one of our design meetings and update us as to their perspective and everything as well. Finally, the last thing I want to mention is just Yamini, who I see here on the Zoom call as well. She's been working diligently on sustainability aspects and analysis of Cosmic's previous work and ongoing futurology. And she's going to be presenting her work after this design meeting to all of us who want to attend, who have been invited to attend, I'm sorry. And I'm looking forward to a spirited discussion with regards to how we're going to have Cosmic move forward in a sustainable fashion, both as a nonprofit and disseminating all of our projects globally. So thank you, everybody. I'm looking forward to all the presentations today.
I don't know if we have lost Philip's connection.
Yes, I was lost, but now I think I'm found. I'm sorry about that, Stanley. I assume Chris has finished his update. And so now we're going to turn to Stanley, who's just been doing a tremendous job at international outreach, as well as Abhijit. And he's going to share with us a few words about the international efforts.
Hi, my name is Stanley. Also running this meeting on Zoom and live stream. With respect to international outreach, once we have started publishing our designs based on the needs that we have in Vancouver that we thought are applicable elsewhere, we've used knowledge sharing as a way to get in touch with different communities in the developing world, and found out time and time again to varying degrees that oxygen concentrators is a problem. So and we've managed to get some samples being examined by different groups as well. So, Abjeet?
Yeah, on that note, overall outreach, we are also working in India about on other project, Bubble Helmet, and we are currently in talks with one of the manufacturers in India who is going to produce some of the helmets for us and test it in their local hospitals. So this would be in the next few weeks or so. So I'll definitely keep you updated on that. An oxygen concentrator, I think we'll talk about it later as well when we talk about our work at about oxygen concentrator.
Really exciting to hear that we're working with the local manufacturer. Hard work. So now we're going to turn to our quick 2 or 3 minute updates, and I'm going to be quite strict on time so that we can hear what our various projects are up to. So first up, we're going to have Alex from the GVent team. Take it away, please.
Thanks, Philip. Yeah, so for our very quick update for Team GVent, for those who are unaware, GVent is our gravity ventilator project, which is our low-cost, easy-to-manufacture ventilator that we've been working on for the past several months. So updates from our last design meeting are essentially that we've really taken a step back and have done a lot of work laying out our software architecture and plans in a more meticulous way that we think we can build from the ground up. And of course, as Chris mentioned, we've onboarded Critical Systems Labs, who are experts in safety critical engineering applications. And we're really excited to work with them. We think that with their help, we'll be able to reach our version 1 of our prototype in the next 10 weeks and do so in a well-documented and safety-minded way. So yeah, that's about it, unless Patrick, if I missed anything.
No, that sounds good. Yeah, we've had a few different teams kind of come through and have been getting consistent and really incredible contributions from various team members. So I think things are progressing well, and we're excited to have Critical Systems on board to kind of oversee the risk aspects of the software control system.
I think it's exciting to hear that we are kind of, in a sense, I think bringing that professional perspective to risk analysis, which is going to complement, I think, our open source and mission very nicely. And there may be other teams that can learn from that critical analysis with their own designs as well. Is that the case, Patrick?
Yeah, definitely. I hope that is a significant output. I think there appears to be sort of, I think the open source community is now bridging the gap well, and many different contributors. We've learned lots from groups like Helpful Engineering and Public Invention. Robert Reed is here as well. And another important point to mention is that we're going to be getting one of these vent monitors and using that as an important test fixture against which we can compare our system and other open source systems. So I think we've been learning a lot, and the open source community is kind of coming to this point. I think Critical Systems Lab and the risk assessment that they provide for us will be an important piece that we can share.
Excellent. And since we're on the topic of GVent, a special shout out to Chase, who's I think joining us from Prince George, but was one of the original inventors of the kind of pressure support mechanism that we have with GVent. So thanks for joining us, Chase. Thumbs up from Chase. Good. Okay. Let's turn to Arpan to hear about positive pressure ventilation vis-a-vis bubble helmet. And I think we've got an exciting update to share with everyone there too.
Yeah, most of you probably heard now, we got our clinical trial approval from Health Canada under the interim order.
Yeah.
That was a much awaited, much anticipated email. So now, because of that, we are going to be working extra hard to produce helmets and kind of work on our ethics application and any more documentation that Health Canada needs just to get the ball rolling for clinical trials. We're still in contact with the physicians who will be running the trials with us, and in contact with a manufacturer out in London, Juan. London, Ontario, not London, London. So he's going to produce some helmets for us, and hopefully we can use those in our clinical trials. Still a long ways away, but we're going to work really hard towards that. And then just some things going on the side. We're still improving our design. There's some issues that we found with the neck seal being too tight. So we're gonna try to narrow the angle a bit and see if that'll help. And I think that's it for now. Yeah, and we're just trying to refocus our efforts to see what path kind of works best for us. If we want to keep pursuing with manufacturers, or if we want to really focus on clinical trials. So we're in the next couple of weeks, we're really trying to refocus what our goals are for short term and long term.
Excellent. Congratulations. This is a really big milestone to get that approval. I feel like we've graduated from, to a certain extent, amateur inventors to the point where we've got a significant, well-respected institution, Health Canada, giving us kind of a stamp of approval, and really in their correspondence, really highlighting the quality of work that Cosmic has done.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Thank you, Philip.
Okay, clinical respiratory support. We're going to hear from Bruce and Abhijit, and take it away, please.
Hi. So we have a relatively new project we've been working on, an oxygen concentrator. The basic architecture is that it's designed for single patient oxygen production, but can be daisy chained together to form a clinic-based oxygen supply. The basic technology is zeolite pressure swing adsorption, which is the common technology used for oxygen adsorption. What we'd like to do different is we want to make it cheap and we want to make it safe. And by cheap, I mean cheap to build and cheap to run. Commonly available materials and efficient consumption of electricity, which is a problem in a lot of parts of the world. The design uses a single zeolite pressure vessel, unlike most other designs that use either a pair or up to sometimes 16. This simplifies the construction, reduces the number of components, particularly the solenoid valves. To make it cheap to run, we want it really efficient in terms of oxygen use and oxygen loss during the blowdown and purge phases. So we have a number of strategies to do that, using oxygen sensors, two-stage pressure for the blowdown and purging, and also heating the zeolite to reduce oxygen consumption for the purge. So hopefully this is going to produce oxygen in a very power efficient way. The other kind of side project we're working on is an inspiration triggered oxygen delivery. The idea is to make oxygen consumption by the patient more efficient by preventing oxygen delivery during expiration. That has the potential for reducing oxygen consumption, not just for this oxygen concentrator, but for any oxygen source, whether it's compressed air or wall oxygen. So at this point, we're at the, we've got the design sussed out and we're collecting hardware and we've got a space to work in. And hopefully within a couple of weeks, we're going to put together a prototype and find out what's wrong with it. So that's the plan.
Abhijit, anything to add?
Yeah, right on that. Just wanted to share this timeline, tentative timeline, that we are almost at the design stage and hoping to have our first prototype ready maybe a couple of weeks from now. We are a little bit ahead of our timeline, which is a good thing. One good news is that SFU, Simon Fraser University, has offered us some space to carry out our product development activities. So thank you to SFU as well. about that, so that's a good news. And also we are looking at how to adopt after we complete our designs and everything, who is going to adopt and who is going to manufacture. We are looking at that starting now so that it becomes easy afterwards. And yeah, that's all from oxygen concentrator.
Thank you so much. Real plaudits to the CRS team for following the KISS, keep it simple, stupid principle when designing prototypes. And Abhijit, it's very brave to put up a timeline on a meeting that's being recorded in perpetuity. So kudos to you there too. Okay, so now we're going to pivot a little bit and check in and hear from both Ben and Addie. As we heard, Addie is the technical lead for Project Apollo, a project with helpful engineering to implement an inexpensive DIY oxygen concentrator. And Ben is coming to us from New Zealand, where he's the invention coach of the oxygen concentrator project. So this is of great interest to us, given our open source aspirations and given the CRS, Clinical Respiratory Supports team, recent decision to go head on into the oxygen concentration development business. So I invite the two of you to take it away, and we look forward to hearing from you. And where possible, if you can kind of incorporate some of, reflect back on anything you've heard about Cosmic and our aspirations and the projects we're working on, that'd be great too. Cheers.
Cool. Thank you. So I'll try to share my screen. Let's see if you guys can see it. I'll stop video. All right. Are you guys seeing the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll try to go fast. There's a lot of material and I try to be really brief. So Project Apollo, what it is. We started in March this year because we noticed that a lot of people need oxygen concentration, especially in the developing countries, in the areas where there is no established oxygen infrastructure. Here in the United States, you have trucks going with bottles every day to various hospitals, so that's not a problem. But in countries like Afghanistan, there is no such thing. So that's why we started this project. And we quickly built a prototype and we published build instructions for it in April this year. And since then, we have iterated on multiple versions of this prototype. The current goal is to go towards FDA approval and make it very dependable, very reliable, have the peace of mind that if you turn this unit on, this will deliver what you want. And if something goes wrong, you have clear messages for the medical personnel to fix it. So we are going to have we have a lot of focus on the dependability, user experience, and reliability in the last version. We have published, like I said, documentation, and we a BOM, and we already have some builds. Some people already built it. This whole Project Apollo is a result of a collaboration between multiple nonprofits and also commercial organizations. So Helpful Engineering is being hosting this project, but we have worked with Public Invention, have worked with OxyKit, and also we have a lot of volunteers from Microsoft Garage and Quick to Space on building this. So just a few notes on the latest version that we were working on. So the next version is coming soon, maybe in a few weeks. And as I said, we are focused here on safety, user experience, and maintainability. We are looking at oxygen to compatible materials and oxygen pad. And we have a fairly complete electronics box, which can be used actually in any other open source oxygen concentrator such as OxyKit. So, and finally, we're also prototyping integration with SP2 oximeter Bluetooth sensors. So the system will adjust its oxygen flow and concentration depending on the reading you're getting from your oximeter. And additionally, we're also looking at pulse mode, which will greatly reduce the power required to operate this device as opposed to continuous mode. So for patients which are not in a critical stage, pulse mode may be just good enough. The status is we have 3 big areas of contribution. So mechanical design is being led by Ben Coombs from Public Invention. He will talk a lot about it on the next slide. On the software side, we have working simulation software and also device in the loop optimization, which have reached maximum concentration from the simulated software. So we have a fairly complete simulation software of a generic PSA system. We also have software for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth integration. And also on the hardware side, we have the system is in progress. We have the schematics in review for both controller and sensor board, and for the valve and control board and sensor board is still in progress, but hopefully it will be in review very soon. So on this slide, I'll let Ben continue and take it and discuss about the mechanical design.
Thanks, Eddie. So on this design, we try to make it, first and foremost, that it could be locally manufactured without any kind of specialist equipment. So just some saws and lathes and drill presses maybe, so that it'd be quite easy to make the bulky and heavy components in country, partly to create jobs, but also to deal with the supply chain resilience. So some of the components we started with just a standard PSA process, so it's built on technology that's been around for decades. It's nothing too complicated. The valves, we have been working with SMC Pneumatics to establish that supply chain, which has, takes a long time to get up and running and to build that relationship, so then we can get the filtration and the valves and all the components, high reliability, medical quality, and they have suppliers around the world. So that takes care of the bulk of the components. There are a few specialist components which we're trying to design to optimize for low-cost manufacturing, like stamped steel, etc., and aiming just for something that is has a long service life and is fairly easy to use, so that in a situation where you may not have people to maintain or repair properly, we may not have the parts available. It's designed with that in mind. Yeah, we one of the key factors on this is in terms of power generation. We decided that the air compressors were difficult to find, heavy to ship, they had long lead times, so we've based it off a standard pneumatic ring main. And working with the pneumatic supplier, we've sort of developing a filtration kit which could filter out from any kind of dirty old compressor that you could find, or a diesel generator compressor. It could filter out to produce medical grade air and then oxygen, and we could scale that in different ways depending on the application. Eddie, do you want to?
Cool. So I only have a few more slides and I'm done, hopefully. Just to show off some of the latest things we're working on. So this is, we have a touch sensor and a interface. This is very preliminary. It's going to look slightly different in the final version. And on the right, there is another Apollo concentrator we just built a week ago. And down below, we have the outputs from graphs from the simulation software, which are pretty closely in sync with what we are measuring. So that's it. To conclude, I just want to show a few links. Please visit us. You can see our progress on our GitHub repo. We are fairly aggressive checking in there. Please also check out the Slack channel from Health Engineering of what's going on, and also the public invention website. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you so much, both Ben and Adi. It was nice to see a link to the GitHub available, so that clearly you are living and breathing the open source mentality here. Just to give us a sense of the scale of the project, how many unique contributors do you estimate have been part of Project Apollo?
Since beginning, maybe 20 or 30, I would say. Maybe more like 20, 20 plus. We did a lot of, we have, just to show you some of the latest PCB designs we have on a power board and a valve board and on a control board. So it's still going on. There's also a lot of software being checked in already, both on the simulation side and also on the, on the software that runs on the embedded system. So maybe 20 people.
Great, great. Okay, and I could see Ben and Abhijit paying careful attention to the presentation, so hopefully there was some good lessons learned there, as well as with we've had lots of work in the realm of control systems when it comes to our G-Vent project, and so I'm sure they were interested to see some of those schematics as well. So with some sadness, I have to say we have reached 6 p.m. So we're going to end the meeting here. And look forward to gathering again as a kind of cosmic community in exactly 1 month time. And that will be on Thursday, October 15th at 5:30 p.m. at the same time and place, I should say 17:30 Pacific time. And my hope is that at our next meeting, we will have some more time for Q&A and maybe even breaking out into small groups. But in the interest of punctuality, I'm going to bid everyone adieu, and thank you very much, and keep up the good work, and we'll see everyone back all together in a month. Bye for now.